So now let us have a look at this video. First thing we need to do is we need to first check the name of the fluid, the strength of the fluid that we are taking, and the volume of the fluid. Check the expiry date. Check the two compartment to be intact. Nothing should be broken. Check the patency of the covering so that no covering is broken there. There's no leak outside. This is very, very important because you must not use a tampered PD solution at all. Then with aseptic precautions, you tear off the outer wrapper, but please avoid touching the bag. See that there must not be any bubbles inside. It must not be cloudy at all. There must not be any air leaked into it. After that, without touching the bag proper hand wash with the technique utilizing 2 to 3 minutes with all the 8 to 9 steps. Then you properly fold your hands and break the seal between the two compartments and mix them properly so that the low pH and the high pH compartments, they get you mixed to it and you perform a single homogeneous PD bag. Then you again check for any leaks outside. There must not be any leak anywhere. Then you will find that the PD bag and a drain bag are very closely stuck to each other. You separate both of them and you hang the PD bag with a stand and you straighten the tubing attached to it. Then you attach the Y portion attached to the bag, to the tubing, to the organizer disc that you already possess. Then you straighten the portion of the drain bag. Now, you will secure the line into the organizer. Now, the best part is it is so designed that you cannot afford to make a mistake. It will only fit in one direction. You put the drain bag into a basin. Then what you will do, you will with aseptic precautions take out the connection from the PD catheter, the transfer set, and you will insert into the disc. You will then remove the catheter from the disinfection cap, but of course you will perform again a hand rub prior to it, with again covering all the steps. That disinfection cap is now, it is removed from the disc and you now connect the transfer set to a new disinfection cap to the attached to the disc. Now you will open the clamp attached on the catheter. Now the best part of the disc is it is automatically positioned at the one mark which is a drain, and as soon as you will remove the clamp, automatically it will start to drain. Once you drain, you please have a look at the PD fluid. It must not be cloudy. After you have drained all the PD fluid, the next thing is to turn it and shift it to the flush point. Flushing will what it do? It will stop the entry into the fluid into the catheter end and it will drain the tubing. It will only flush the tubing from the PD bag into the drain bag. And you must see fluid coming directly from above downwards. The next, if you turn, will be the fill phase. And now it will close the end of the drain bag and the fluid will directly go into the peritoneal cavity, as you can see in this video, which of course can have a half circle phase, which is basically filling with half the pace, and a full circle, which is filling with full phase. After the filling has been completed, you turn it to again last, which is the disconnect portion. Then you stop the clamp and then you will do the disconnection. Again, before you touch the transfer set, you have to perform a proper hand rub. And then what you will do is you will disconnect. How you will disconnect? You will take out the transfer set very, very carefully and you will again insert into new disinfection cap, of course after checking the expiry. So you see, with each exchange you require a new disinfection cap. Now after we have understood how the PD process works, you and me have already performed a virtual exchange on a patient. Now what are the types of peritoneal catheter? Now acute PD. Now see, at remote places or even at many institutes where the provision of an urgent hemodialysis is not available, where the patient is say unstable, you might not have a provision of a CRRT. There, you do perform an acute PD still. And how do you perform an acute PD? It could be with the help of a rigid non-cuffed catheter or a soft cuffed catheter. A rigid non-cuffed catheter is made up of plastic. It is straight and slightly curved configurations, and maximum it lasts for 3 days. You could even use a soft cuffed catheter. So this is an acute PD catheter. The KDIGO guidelines, the recent KDIGO guidelines for PD for AKI states that PD is a suitable method. Please do not think while discussing AKI, I did tell you one of the suitable methods of RRT in a patient of AKI is peritoneal dialysis. And we have all performed PD in AKI patients when needed to be done. Now, flexible catheters must be used for acute PD if resource settings exist. But if not available, rigid catheters can be used. Now, catheters should be tunneled in order to reduce peritonitis and pericatheter leak. So a tunneled catheter is always better than a non-tunneled one. And no method of insertion is superior to either of the above. So these are the important KDIGO guidelines that I have taken directly from the KDIGO site to inform you about them. Coming to chronic PD catheter. Now, by chronic PD catheter is a common peritoneal dialysis catheter that we usually refer to, and we've all seen it. So basically the catheter is made up of silicone. It is a biocompatible, biodurable catheter, and it has two cuffs. And the cuffs are basically Dacron cuffs made up of polyester. So the catheter is made up of silicone. The cuffs are made up of Dacron. Very, very important. Why are those two cuffs present? The first cuff lies in the subcutaneous plane, and the second cuff lies in the muscular plane. The first cuff in the subcutaneous plane is basically a barrier to prevent the entry of bacteria. It is basically acts as an antibacterial cuff. While the muscular cuff, it will provide firm position to the catheter, firm fixation to the catheter, and prevent its malposition or coming out. Please look here at this photo where you see the first cuff is in the subcutaneous plane, the second cuff is in the muscular plane. This will prevent the entry of bacteria, and this will cause fixation of the catheter and will not let it move. Now, coming to the CAPD catheter. I told you what we use usually is the double cuffed silicone catheter. Now, these catheter can have a straight tip or a curved tip. A straight tip catheter, the problem is it rapidly causes the dispersion of the fluid in the peritoneal cavity, so it causes more pain. But the curved tip catheter causes less pain. There is also a radio opaque strip on the axis of the catheter, so you can visualize it on an X-ray also, so that where the catheter has gone, whether it has migrated to somewhere else, you will get to know. And they have a bore of 2.6 mm internally usually. Now, what are the types of catheter? The catheter that we used are usually the Tenkov catheter. It is the Tenkov catheter that we used. They are the double cuffed Tenkov catheter. Usually, it has a straight intercuff segment, but it can have a swan neck segment also. Now, some places where you have different anatomy for a person, say extremely obese or say an extremely tall person, where the exit site of the catheter is quite remote, you might use an extended catheter. You might use an extended catheter if the exit site is remote. Also, some catheters could be having a silicone disc or a tungsten weight also. These are just the modifications. But one word if you have to remember, it is the Tenkov double cuffed silicone catheter that we more often use. Usually with the straight tip, we can also have a swan neck intercuff segment.